Good morning, fellow traders. What is happening? How are we doing today? Sorry about that. I've been working on a bid for a project I'm going to do, and I just got a couple texts like 15 minutes ago for some extra information that I need to put together, and it caused me a little bit of a delay today, but we're good now. We are good now. So we're going to do the 3-minute chart here for a bit. Just want to double check everything. I got my time filter on. It's perfect. Okay, I moved it down to 8 like I said yesterday, and if we scalp, we're going to set our take profit at 7. If we scalp like we were, probably do 10 here. Well, not 710. Let's just do 10. That'd get a little wild if we did 710. Just going to do MES today, just for a bit here. We're going to start out nice and slow. Obviously you can see that I have a 100K account today. And yes, Corey, I got a TPT account. I did. I almost bought that Tradeify deal yesterday. That was a really good deal. But ultimately, I like the idea, and I said this yesterday, and I've said this a couple times, I like the idea of daily payouts. So once I hit that take profit margin, I'm just gonna do it like we were saying. Some of the other live streams I've talked about this, about the psychology part of it, and just pacing myself, right? Not getting too ahead of myself. So that's usually worked really well for me. So I don't want to feel pressured that I need to make a certain amount by a certain day for a payout window. I like the idea that I can get $100 one day or $500 one day, or vice versa. Or I don't even have to get a payout, but it's an option. I like that there's an option there every day. So it was worth it to pay a little bit more for that. So yeah, TPT, baby. 100K account, TPT. Let's make some magic, guys. I'm excited to see how this is going to go. I think it's going to go really, really well. TPT is a solid company. I have more evals there than anywhere else. That's been my favorite prop firm for probably a year now. I do have my pro account that I had the unfortunate trade evade incident with 2 months ago. And so my plan is to get a payout and then to scale that one in, trade that one as well. Trade that one at the same time. Excuse me. TPT. Good morning, Cyclonic. Good morning, Mr. Trader Mick. Who else here today? Who's trading today? Who is here trading today? I'm going to look at my top-down analysis here real quick. I might draw some lines real quick, and we'll see what we got going on here. 4-hour chart. Yesterday was quite the day. I think tomorrow is going to be quite the day too. We could see some good movements tomorrow, especially with the tariffs. Everybody's freaked out about the tariffs. I don't know how much it's going to affect things. It could really throw us for a loop here. We could have some big problems. We just have to hope that our president knows what he's doing and things are going to work out. Guess I could do a political podcast, and I don't think that would ever end. There's plenty of opinions on that stuff these days. Okay, so on the 4-hour chart here, we used to have a support line right here on this support. Just one of these white lines that I like to draw out. We have now broke down through that as of yesterday. This massive spike up. This was crazy. I'm glad I wasn't trading in the afternoon. I set my time filter so I wouldn't have got a signal here anyway, but I turned it off last night when I was looking at this, and it would have signaled up and down within the same like half an hour, whatever that big spike was. And it's towards the end of the day, and it's just not a good time to be trading, so I'm glad I was out of this nightmare. That probably caused some problems. I noticed a lot of traders that I follow got whooped yesterday too. I don't know if anybody watches that Panda Trading guy, the bye money dude, but he lost a lot of money yesterday. He made he made like 45 grand last week, and he lost a bunch. He didn't say how much he lost, but if he didn't say, it was a lot. So our next area, looking down at this, I love to do these top-down analyses. It doesn't mean that things are going to do what we're thinking, but it's always good to kind of know where your levels are. Okay, so last week when I did this, we were up here, and I put a line here, and I put a line here. We're now at that lower line. So our next line this is within like the last 8 months too. So our ultimate low is going to be right around this next green line here. So I put another line down there. I think we're going to, especially with tomorrow's news coming out, there's every probability that we're just going to sink to that level. So the last 4-hour candles have been just bearish as all get out. So probably going to continue that trend today. Let's take a look on 1 hour. Yeah, last 5 hours have been in a downtrend since it hit that profit wave. And this was yesterday. Yeah, look at that 1 hour candle, Corey. That's wild. 1 hour it went clear up here and clear down here. So in a 1 hour candle, it was 180 ticks, 200 ticks almost. Insanity. Insanity. Okay, and looking at the 5-minute chart, there's that line we just drew. We got quite a ways to get down there. We've now, within the last 10 minutes, we've got a sell signal. I'm going to take it. Let's do 2 here and just take it. And then if we get a scalp signal on the 3-minute, we will maybe scalp. Right? Try and zoom this in so you guys can see that line. So yeah, we got a long ways to go to down that level, but it's with everything going on in the economy, I would not be surprised. We could have some really good drops today. Really good drops the next day and a half, 2 days, really, today and tomorrow. So yeah, let's watch this trade for a bit here. Like I said, on the 5-minute chart, I have my 3-minute alerts set up. I was playing with this earlier, the risk settings for Take Profit Trader. It does not do anything when you set it up. So if you just put a number in, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, I remember when I asked them if they could modify that or change that through support, and they said no. Yeah, they told me no when I was asking about that, because we've had a couple people ask about that. Oh, please tell me I'm on the June contract. Yes, I am. Okay, good. Yesterday we were playing with that, and I thought, shoot, if I changed that and forgot, that would not be good. You do not want to be on the wrong contract, guys. There's not a lot of liquidity on those, and you'll notice all kinds of weird fees and weird price points you get put in that. So you want to make sure you're watching those contracts pretty close. Just ask me how I know. I made so many mistakes in trading. It's amazing I'm even alive anymore with all the problems I've had with trading. Holy cow. Most people would have gave up and went to be a gardener in Tijuana or something. They're smarter than I am, I guess. Yeah, I think we're gonna have some low actions here. This could be that other candle. If you remember when we looked over, that other candle that dropped to this level was just one candle. We had like a 1 4-hour candle 6 months ago that went that far in 1 4-hour candle. Crazy. Absolute insanity. Let's look at NQ. I'm just curious. I don't really like NQ. It's not my favorite thing, but let's look and see. Let's do our top down here while we're waiting. Just because I already did. Yeah. Huh. I never erased those from last time I did that. Okay. Same story though, guys. Yep, same story. If we zoom way out, you can see. Look at this. Look at this insanity. 2 4-hour candles went like 300 ticks. Clear back in August last year. Isn't that wild? Excuse me. Same story though. I mean, looks like we're reaching for new lows. Definitely same story yesterday. Very similar. You know how these guys are related. They move very similar. I think before we sell here, I'd like to see this level get cleared before we sell. We did just get a signal, but the RSI wasn't as strong on here, so it could sell pretty hard. Once it breaks this lower support, I would be real keen on a sell. We'll watch that level today. I don't want to get too wild with this account, though. I'm not blowing this account. I want to make some money, but I'm not blowing this account. This 100K account's going to be a rockstar account. We're going to do some magic with this bad boy. So yeah, 25 is our RSI. I got a signal about 10 minutes ago. I didn't have my 5-minute. In fact, I had to change my signals for the 5-minute because I was messing with contracts, and I want to make sure I'm on the. I'm doing the right signal for this contract type deal. So we're going to go across and down value. Do my -12. Let's set that right there, and then we're going to set a buy. Crossing up, value for 12, once per bar, boom. We have our, see the gray lines are populated now, our signal is in place. Gonna rock it. Good morning, Brett. Good morning. Thanks for being here, guys. Thank you all for being here so far. We got 9 on the stream today. Yesterday was a great stream for just trading my demo account. I had some really good conversations. It was great. You guys are awesome. Corey, I really went back and forth yesterday on that discount code. I was really, I was not even thinking about that, but you really threw a wrench in my system, especially where it was a 1-day code. And I almost did it, man. I was really close to doing it. I had take profit open. I had actually looked at Blue Sky. I had a discount for them. I had a trade day discount, which I don't do. I don't want to do activation fees. Trade day would be a great place to trade. I just don't want to do activation fees. I don't see a point for it. There's no point in paying the same price that you can get somewhere else with very similar parameters and then turn around paying an activation fee after you've passed their eval. I can pass an eval without an activation fee and start trading a live account, or live sim anyway. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do it. Call me stubborn. I just don't want to do it. Good morning, Sean. Thank you for being here. The answer to that question is a resounding absolute yes. I'm one of those guys, Sean, that I have never been able to make the 1-minute chart no matter how I do it. Back when I was a Forex guy, we tried to hedge it. We did all kinds of funky stuff back in the day. Simple market metrics. I actually have a video. If you look at a video on my channel, it's called Red to Green, Green to Red. And it was a 1-minute chart, and this was just one time, one day, but this happens all the time. If you just tried to trade the green and green switch over to the red switch over, triple G, triple R's, they call it on the channel, you get wiped out. To look at it, to just look at the screen, oh, okay, yeah, that looks like I trade pretty well. You trust me, when you do it in actual real live scenario like I did on that video, you get whooped, absolute whooped. So yes, the answer is a resounding 100%, much, much, much better. I use 3-minute, 5-minute chart. I find that I'm looking at both of them. I make my signals on the 5-minute chart, but I always double check the 3-minute chart. Not always, but a very, very high probability. I'm looking for those two to say the same thing very close to each other. And once they do, I feel like I just get in when things are starting to turn, and you get a super good entry that way. That's just how I do it. But yes, absolutely 100%. Big yes. In fact, I'm going to put on the chat, yes, 100% yes. guys are awesome. I really appreciate the comments. I really appreciate the support and the viewership. It's awesome. Let's make some magic. Let's do some good stuff today. Yeah, let's do some good stuff, Sean. But yes, watch some of my, I don't know if you have time, if you haven't watched any videos yet or whatever, but on my channel, I have several videos of me. In fact, last night I ran some Google ads on a video, and I will see, while I'm talking to you, I'm going to post that video. And it is showing me how I do the trading on the 5-minute chart. This video has been a pretty popular video for me, but it's actually going to be probably my #1 video now as far as viewership goes. But I'm going to post the link in here for you. Watch this video. It shows me how I do it, why I have the thought process that I do, and how things turn out for me. So is it this one here? Yes, it's that one there. Okay. Grab this link, and we're going to post this here. Bob's your uncle, as they say. Okay, check that out, Sean. Check out that video. That's the video that I was just mentioning. It's pretty clear in that video that the 5-minute chart works really well for my setup and for me. You know, back when I was a Forex guy, I really didn't start making any progress until I went to 5-minute chart. And that's kind of how my mindset turned me into the 5-minute chart with this setup, right? Okay, I'm only going to sell NQ. I'm only going to do one small size. I'd lied. I'm going to do 2 because I'm on a 100K account. We have a little bit more room. I want to see it break this level. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put an alert right here. When it crosses that value, 18,813, if I'm on the other chart, it'll alert me, and we're going to go. We're going to go for it. We're going to shoot down. I think today, just from my top-down analysis starting out the stream, we've got a long ways to go, but it looks like a bearish day for us so far. I don't see anything saying to buy today. So we're going to see if we can get some sell actions in. Yeah, Sean, when you get, I don't know how many videos you've seen, but yeah, check them out. That video I put right there, though, that's going to be my most popular video. It's one of the shortest videos. That's why I ran ads on it, because as I'm looking at my analytics, the shorter videos are typically doing a little bit better as far as watch time. But it's pretty direct too. Like I just show you, I just jump into some trades. I show you what I look at. I show you how I do it. I show you the result of it and kind of my thought process. So, and most days are like that. Honestly, I would say 80% of my days are that clear cut and pretty set up. You know, it's very rare that I would say the 20% days are when you get weird hiccups or things with the market, or just things don't pan out how you want. But I would say overall, most days are like that day. So I kind of hand selected that as to be that's going to be like my premiere video, just because, like I said, the shorter videos do a little bit better as far as overall viewerships and comments and things like that. But it just shows you how it works. I mean, it's live. It shows you how my chart looks. It shows you my thought process. I mean, it's a very cut and dry, quick and easy, but to the point. So I'm really trying to get more sales. I want to get more sales. I am a rep for or an affiliate, for Simple Market Metrics. It's a great tool. I really like it. I see some potential in it, and I'm hoping for this year to be a really strong year for me that way. So I've had about 10 sales so far. I think I'm at 10 or 11 right now. I need Justin to send me the report. So he sends a report every month, shows you how many are, but the first month I only had 1 or 2, and this last month I had 8 or 9. I want to get to where I have like 100. You know, that's my goal. I want to sell 100 of those in a month. That may be a hefty goal, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So yeah, we're just waiting here, guys, watching, see what happens here. I don't like selling into order blocks or buying into order blocks, as I've said before. I'd like that to disappear and go away. Yesterday was a good example. If you watched the live stream yesterday, that was a great example of why. We had an order block that we got a signal on, and then it actually rejected off that order block, went down. We took a small loss. Then it started going back our way, and it went deep into the order block. It disappeared. We took a buy, almost hit our take profit. That was so crazy. I mean, it couldn't have got closer. I'm really surprised it didn't partial close on me. I would have thought that some of those would have partial closed, but it didn't close on us. We retested a little bit, went down, had some drawdown, and then boom, knocked that take profit out, and it went quite a bit higher after that. You could have held the level we were shooting for, the order block. If you look through the live stream, the level we were shooting for, half hour later we were there. It would have been a great swing if you'd held on to it. So the metrics work great, but the additions I've made have really made a difference too. I mean, you can see your levels. You've got, if you trade your trend in your top-down analysis, you've got a really good entry, and you're managing wins. It feels like I'm managing wins more than anything else. That's really what I like about it. So I feel like I get very few surprises. I feel like I can read what's going on, and I make good decisions most of the time. Most of the time it's just keeping my finger away from doing crazy things because I'm so confident in what I can see. It used to be I'd do crazy things because I was scared. You know, back when I first was learning how to trade, I would do crazy amounts and revenge trade. I'd start pretty small, and before I knew it, I was 100 times that big, trying to make up for one small loss. And it's like trying to catch a whale with a fishing pole. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But yes, Sean, I appreciate that question. Yeah, thank you. Hopefully some of those videos will help you with that. But absolutely, I'm not saying anything about anybody else because I know there's people that trade 1 minute and they do just fine. They probably think I'm crazy for that. But honestly, man, I've just never been able to do it. Maybe it's just a personal thing. I've just never been able to do it. And I don't even want to try. I've just seen way too many times of just getting meat grindered in the 1 minute, 2 minute chart. 2 minutes a little bit better, but 1 minute is just too fast. There's just too much craziness going on. And I don't know. If you're quick scalping, if you're quick on those buttons, you could probably do okay. But I've seen it where anything you gain in a good swing down or swing up, you're going to lose in a meat grinder. You know what I mean? You're going to lose in this kind of stuff. So like right here, if you'd have bought when it was green, you'd have bought on this candle, and by the time it turned red, you'd be in a negative. Same story here. If you bought on this green, it would have gone up one candle, and the next three sunk before it turned red, so you'd lose from here to here. That's why I do the top down, and I just stick to the higher time frame, because I'd rather just, if this was 1 minute chart, this would be red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, and every single green would have been a loss. Unless you just hit it, wait till it's in profit, and shut it off real quick. But most people don't. Most people are wanting to make $1,000 on every trade, so they don't do that. We don't do that as humans. Okay, we're kind of bouncing at this, kind of hanging tight on this resistance, this support right here. Gonna watch and see what happens at this level. Getting a little bounce right here. Touch the profit wave on this candle. We've got about 2 minutes left, so you know how the profit wave works. We sink into that profit wave. A lot of times the next 2 or 3 candles are complete rejections of that. So we'll watch and see. This resistance up here is pretty strong, and the one above it's even stronger. So I don't see any reason to buy. I mean, you may get some small scalps going up to this level, but it's going to shoot off of this like a ping pong. I mean, it's going to be a strong rejection. Okay, guys, give me just 1 second here. I got to make sure my son's got a ride for school. Hang on just a sec. All right, sorry about that. Had to let the old dog out real quick too. She's getting old. It's pretty sad when your animals get old and they can't hold their bladder anymore like they used to. Okay. Wow, incredible. Some of these Google ads I've been running, I've been figuring out how that all works, but it's crazy. Crazy how much difference it can make on your channel for a $10 ad. I've doubled my subscribers. Hopefully a lot of them aren't bots. I don't know how all that works, but we're figuring it out. Okay. All right. Is Tony here? I haven't seen Tony for today. I haven't seen Erica for a couple days. Starting to get some of the regulars in. It's kind of fun to get to know you a little bit. But yeah, I think we're having, looks like from our top down, we're really going to have a short day. Things are definitely sinking across the board here. Lower levels, quite a ways away. We got a lot of room to get to this level. It's like 700 ticks right there. But man, NQ, it never ceased to amaze you. Okay. So I've got this lower level alert. I'll sell when we hit that. If we can break through this, which I think it's looking likely, but let's see what happens. A little more confident on the ES here. Let's see. Wait, what? My charts are displaying different. What the hell? 5486. And this one says 5475. MESM5. Oh, different contract. Well, no, it's this. That was weird. It's the same contract. Yeah, MESM5 is the same as MESM. It's the June contract. Yeah, it has to be the same. It wouldn't even show because it's only one trade. There's only one trade open. But this one was like $80 in profit, and this one was negative 12, and now it's. That's weird. Wonder if there's. I'm gonna do something real quick here. Let's log out and log back in. Because I just set this up this morning, so I just want to make sure we're all synced like we should be. Okay, we got 11 on the stream right now. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. See if we can get up to 20 today. 20 seems to be about my average. It's usually between 15 and 20. I like it because we have kind of a personal feel here. I can answer questions. I don't get too bombarded or overwhelmed where I can't talk to anybody. I don't miss much. But yeah, the chat yesterday was great. We had a great live stream. It's kind of interesting the new people that are jumping on board, and a lot of like-minded people. That was my goal, is I wanted to connect with like-minded people, and that so far we've been very fortunate with that. I appreciate you guys' input too. You guys have there's a lot of things that have. Yeah, now it looks like we're in sync. Okay, good. That was weird. I had a little delay there, but yeah, we're doing some good stuff here, and glad you have be a part of it. It motivates me to do a good job when I've got good traders seeing the same thing or aligning. Good morning, Travis. Good morning. How are you? Thank you for being here. We're at 13 now on the stream. Good. Hoping to break 20 today. That'd be awesome if we get 20 watching. I've seen it hit 15, 17, 18, 20 a couple times, but breaking 20 would be awesome. It'd really make me happy. Okay, guys, we're watching this. This could be a day like yesterday where it just slowly sinks as the day progresses with a few FU candles in there, you know. We will see. There's an actual sell signal on NQ. I'll tell you, I have not done much with the NQ signals because when I did all my testing, and it could change month to month, I realize that, but the MAS signals were better. I just had way better luck with them. So I will scalp these as I'm swinging. So this is kind of my swing trade here, and I will scalp as we go down. I'll go up in size, and we'll scalp as we go down. Okay, shoot, Travis. Shoot your question, man. Glad to answer it if I can. Hopefully we can find something to answer it for you. Hopefully it's an easy question like Sean's today. That was an easy one. 11 on the stream. All right. Let's see if we can get some regulars back in. So I do have the alert on MNQ. If we break that lower support and clear it with a 5-minute candle, and we still got everything else showing me that we're in a downtrend, which it looks very likely, we're going to jump in on that too, and we're just going to ride this down, see where we can end up today. But yeah, shoot with your question, Travis. Glad to answer you if I can. Probably going to break this lower level. In fact, let's do this. Let's go to two panel window for just a bit here, just while I'm watching this. A little easier than clicking back and forth. Set them up so they're pretty close to each other. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'll have to shrink this one down. Gotta go in here and add that back on, so just a sec, guys. I can remember how to do it. There we go. Shut my door so you guys don't have to be tortured with Miss Rachel. My daughter loves it, but Nazi prison camps couldn't think of something that torturous. One thing's for sure, the wheels on the bus are round. She made sure that point was clear. Okay. We are... Man, we're just playing with these supports here. It's going to be interesting to watch this support level on both piece pairs today. So it seems like this is our barrier. Once we break through this, we may sink pretty good. Who else is selling today? Who else is selling this bad boy? Watching for sales. Man, Slippage has been kind of wild so far too. A lot of volatility looks like. Stream health looks really good. I'm watching it 1080p. It's doing really, really good. Sound looks like it's really good too. I was watching some of my older videos. Man, what a dramatic difference the sound has been since I adjusted this mic and took some of the time to. It was one thing if you're making just a static video, right, about something, but when you're live streaming, you want to have really good audio. Hey, there's our good friend Lorand from across the world. Good morning. We're getting ready for a sale on NQ, Lorand, MNQ. Looks like we broke these levels. Our top-down analysis looks like we're going to sell today. So how you doing, my Eastern European friend? I've got a level set right here, guys. I've got this alert that's popped up. Once that breaks, I think we're going to sell. We're going to add a sell to there. I am trading a $100,000 account with Take Profit Trader that I set up early this morning. I did a lot of research yesterday afternoon. I feel like this is the best direction for me to go. It's really hard to beat TPT, man. That deal we had yesterday for Corey, that was a smoking deal, though. And I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I almost pushed go a couple times. And maybe I should have. Maybe I should have bought that one and had this. I thought about that too. But let's just do, I'm just going to, what I don't want to do, and I said this yesterday and on a couple live streams, I don't want to get too many accounts. I really think you just add a lot of congestion to your life. You're adding stress in different dimensions. You've got the stress of trading, and then you have the stress of managing accounts. So, yeah, I sure do, Lorand. I do. The other account I blew last week, it was that 50K account, in my funded futures account. I blew that just by over leveraging, basically. I just didn't have, we had some kind of crazy price action, and I got a couple bad signals, not bad signals, but I was just over leveraged. I mean, it boils down to that. Doesn't matter what happened. I had way too much size on for that size of account. I was trying to make up ground. I was halfway through the eval. I was wanting to finish it. Again, it's one of those outside pressures of life making me do stupid stuff. I didn't get a trade for 3 days last week, and so I was trying to make up ground. And I just need to stick to my daily goals instead of getting too focused on the future. Yeah, Take Profit does too, but it's actually Take Profit does, but for tomorrow. I was looking at the calendar earlier, and the only restrictions they have is for tomorrow. So we'll watch that and get that cleared out of our way tomorrow before we get too crazy with trading. But today I'm free to trade. Ooh, look at that. We're spiking down good, guys. I believe we've passed any of the major news for today, if I remember right. But let me just double check. Yeah, the news we were worried about was about 15 minutes ago. The rest of the day is all just yellow, nothing red. But tomorrow, and this will be first thing in the morning, and then at 9:25, I've got to watch Fed Chair Powell speak. Jerome Powell. See what those guys have to say. What kind of nonsense they're going to get us into or not get us into or whatever. Okay, this is touching my alert here, guys. We're going to have this alert signal. I want to see this candle close. We got about 3 minutes left. I'd like to break this lower. That alert just triggered, so we're going to cancel that. But I want to see this level break lower. We're sinking good on our ES trade. If we do get an alert on my 3 minute, I'm gonna scalp. I'll scalp that bad boy, but yeah, we're sinking good today, guys. I think that's looking pretty clear. Yeah, exactly. The tariff war has begun, and hopefully Americans can survive it after the last 5 years of nonsense this country's been through. Just really hard to not get sour on politics all the way around, to be honest with you. Okay, I'm going to watch. When this candle breaks through lower, we're going to sell because we broke that resistance block. It's still there, but I wonder, I wouldn't be surprised if this candle closes and that order block disappears. I'm going to just jump over to one panel for just a minute. So we did, if you'd have took this scalp earlier, 10 minutes ago scalp, easily would have got that one. Easy. The Kamalis. Hello, how are you? Thanks for being here. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you guys. Yeah, 13 on the stream. Let's see if we can get a 20. That'd be great. I think 20 is a great number. It's interactive. It's a good volume, and yeah, I like that. It's great. Oh man, this is gonna sink, I think, guys. Yeah, I think we're just I think that, like you said, the Terraforce is just gonna push prices way down. I know it's gonna sink. It's already hit my level. It's just I want to see it close before we do anything here. I mean, I could have jumped in earlier. It'd been fine, but I want to see it close. I want that order block to go away, and I want it to close below that green dotted line. Then we'll jump in on a sale. We'll just add to what we've already got. Got about a minute and a half. Just going to be patient. It's real tempting just to click that sell button and go like crazy. And that's when the market likes to say, hey, guess what? No. And it does it in a very rude and not fun way. Okay, we got 11 on the stream. I like watching that. It's cool. Yeah, this Terraform might get crazy, guys. Everything that came out yesterday, it's kind of scary. Kind of scary. A lot of arguments can be made for the tariffs. A lot of arguments can be made against them, too. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, to be honest with you. I want what's best for our country, but at the same time, I don't think starting a war with everybody's going to fix it. But it's multifaceted. There's a lot to it. So I think anymore, a lot goes on behind the scenes, too. It's just hard to know. Okay, we're going to take a sell here, guys. We are at the end of this candle. I wouldn't be surprised if this order block disappears. It did not, but we broke that resistance. We've got good RSI. We're in a triple R setup. We've got a long ways to go till that next line down that I was showing you on our 4 hour. I think we're just going to take a sell and just add to our positions here. Yep, we're going to add to our positions, and we're going to ride this baby for a little while. We're going to watch things. I'm going to be real careful. I don't want to get too crazy. But it looks like we're in a down day today. Yeah, we've got to be very careful, Corey. You're absolutely right. Got to be very, very careful here. Yeah, we're just going to go down. We're going to go down, and I'm going to watch our numbers, and I'll cancel it. Cancel it when I'm happy with where we're at. We're not going to get too crazy today. I'm thinking it's going to be a slow drift down. We've broke the lower level now, so I mean it could go pretty fast. But I'm thinking we're going to slow drift down. So we'll get down in this area somewhere, and I think I'll cancel some of these trades or just take our profit and run. We've got a good entry here. Haven't seen a sell signal yet on 3 minute. always worried about stuff like this too, that we're getting a bear trap set up, you know what I mean? This looks like a really good bear trap. Yeah, we're getting... God, I don't know what... This is really making me nervous looking at this. Like, I feel like... I don't even know. Something's weird about this. What I don't want to have happen is that big spike like yesterday. Big spike the other way. That would really hurt right now. But we're in profit. We're doing okay for so far. Let's see what this next candle does for us. And I'm going to play it safe today, guys. It's my first day with the account, but it's also a crazy time in the market, so I don't want to get too wild. Like Corey said, you don't want to lose your account because things get too wild. Totally not. About 25 seconds on this candle. Yeah, I don't know. I might get out of this. This NQ trade is not... I don't really like it for some reason. Everything looks okay, but... Our size at 36. Just right, hovering at entry there. Let's see what our crazy cousin NQ likes to just behave weird. Yeah, I've got 2 signals on 5 minute, but I haven't got anything on 3 minute today. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. Especially on NQ. Something is telling me this isn't good. Although everything metric-wise is good, it's just not what I want to see. Okay, we got 12 on the stream. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully watch this next candle or two and see what happens, but I'm not liking how it's not holding. It's holding right here. It's making me a little nervous. Our top-down analysis, we've got this 4-hour line clear down here, and it's a pretty similar story on the MES story. That spike was like 8 months ago, clear down to this level. But yeah, things are pretty wild in our economy over here in the United States, so anybody who pretends to say they know or has an idea, it's anybody's guess right now. In fact, I think volatility is the answer. I think they want whipsaws. That's how they make money both ways, you know what I mean? Yeah, give the like. Yeah, like Laren says, give the like. I appreciate it. I always hope the content will want you to subscribe and like, but yeah, I appreciate that, Laren. For me, I don't know how you guys feel, but I do not like when I see candles, the white dots are all in line. When you have 3 or 4 candles and nothing it doesn't move up or down. That's generally not good. I don't like that. That hesitation is not good, because I've just seen a lot of situations where I was not happy with that trade. And I'm not saying it's going to spike up or down. I would prefer it to just be a slide. Like this candle's trying a little harder than the last one, so we'll see. Yeah, right. I'm just a real trader doing real trades, Lorand. And you see my wins and you see my losses. The goal is to have more good days than bad. And most of the time, that's what we can get that. But we gotta. The problem most people have, and this is pretty clear. I see other channels. Like yesterday, I watched a few channels that are really good channels, and people really struggled. Last I checked in on Nutty, he was having some struggles. The Bye Money guy, the Panda guy, he lost money yesterday. The Winter Futures guy, I don't know if anybody watches him. He lost $8,000 yesterday. So yesterday was a bad day for a lot of the channels that I follow. Cove Trader a couple days ago, he was down like $1,700, $1,800, which he's usually up. He's a good trader. I didn't check in on trading with Travis. I haven't seen much with him lately, but it was a tough day. It's been a tough market. Kellyanne's videos, I've seen a couple of her videos where she said she hasn't done real good this whole year, trading wise. So yeah, I didn't like that. Damn it. I don't like how that's looking at all, guys. The hard thing is when you have a bad day, not letting it get out of control, because a slight bad day can turn into a blown account real quick. I mean, within an hour, and a week of work disappears in an hour. And it happens to us all. I mean, it's every single human being. Every human trader does the same thing. We all have the same problem with that. At least I appreciate the guys that at least share it, though, and that they, instead of they're always winning, and then they magically get new accounts all the time. The numbers always change. If you go back through their videos, the account numbers are changing all the time. But they didn't announce it. They didn't say they got new accounts. They didn't blow them. They just all of a sudden have a new account. It's like, you as an audience are stupid, right? I notice that kind of stuff all the time. I look at this all the time. I look at account numbers all the time. Okay, we're in profit. I mean, I'm pretty happy we're in profit, but it's not really. Maybe I'm just psyching myself out. That's probably all it is. I'm just psyching myself out, just knowing what can happen and wanting to be super careful with this account. Trying to keep my psyche where it needs to be so we can do this right. We can do things good here. Drink of water here. Okay, who's selling? You selling too, Lorand? I'm selling too. I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, I've seen so many like spikes the other way that just came out of nowhere. And they're just, those are designed to hit stop losses. So that's why I don't like stop losses. But if you don't get a hold of those pretty quick, you're going to really regret it when you do finally take a loss. Okay, we got 12 on the stream, guys. Thank you. 12 people on here. That's great. See if we can get to 20 today. That'd be awesome. I was thinking about this morning. I'm like, man, it would be really cool if I can see 20 today. Just one of those things I like to look at. Great stream yesterday. I was really happy with the stream yesterday. Really good to talk with everybody. Corey, you're awesome. I wonder how many people took advantage of that. That was a great deal. Even if you're just looking for a small account, I think the Growth 25K account was only like $100, $80, something like that. It's pretty cheap. I looked at all of them. I'm like, that's pretty cheap. I even looked at the direct to funded ones. But I still feel like, we were talking about the direct to funded yesterday, and if you look at Take Profit Trader and what they offer for the money, it's still a better deal. I mean, you can start getting payouts in a week anyway. So it essentially is direct to funded because it takes you that long on a direct to funded to get a payout. So, not really, you know what I mean? It's hard to beat Take Profit Trader, guys. It's so hard. I mean, when you lay everything out on the table and the experience you have and just how many people just absolutely love them, no hassle with payouts. They are one of the top firms, if not the top firm. I've had more evals with them than anybody. If I'm going to spend money somewhere, I want it with a reputable place that I know when it comes to payout time, I'm going to get it. I'm not going to get yanked around. All right, well. I haven't looked at gold at all today. I haven't done much with gold lately. I've really been just focusing on MES and had really good luck with that. So I'm going to stick with that for a bit. Travis, the answer is when I do a simple market metrics signal. So one of these signals that actually populate and I get an alert on the 3-minute chart, I usually will just do those on the ES. I don't know if you have heard on my other videos or live streams, but I took a whole month and I had like an Excel spreadsheet and I just checked those daily. When I was just doing this on my demo account, right? That $300,000, $400,000 demo account I have. And I was just looking at them, just kind of doing some research, and every month is different. So it was just a 1 month period of time that I did that study on, but I did way better on the ES. The stats and the results were way better on the ES. And looking at my win-loss ratio, overall, I do way better on the ES. So primarily ES. So on NQ, I haven't set up any alerts for the signals. I've only set it up for MES. I prefer MES. I do a little bit better with it statistic-wise. It's a little bit slower. So not to say that I wouldn't take an NQ, because I have before. Every now and again I'll throw one on there, but right now I'm just focusing on MES mostly. Swing trading like we're doing now, I'm just kind of following both because they're both heading very similar directions right now. But those signals, those 7-tick signals, yeah, that's primarily MES, and they're high probability. I would say 80% all day. Like yesterday's live stream, we nailed one pretty good. I had to wait for it, had some drawdown. If I had set that trade, so if you look back at the live stream from yesterday, if I had set that at the 7-tick, so the trade itself is set at 8, but my trade that I execute is 7. If I'd have done that from the get-go, that would have executed within 3 minutes. And I would say 70-80% of the time, that's how those trades go. The other 20% of the time, the trades will drag out into 12 minutes at the far side. And if they get to 15 to 20 minutes and I haven't hit take profit and it's just kind of floating or sinking in the negative drawdown, I'll get out of that bad boy. I won't hold them. So I've seen that the times that it drags on that long and you haven't hit the take profit when you're only shooting for that short of a range, then I just get out of them. And I for sure will from going on in the future, because the ones that I haven't got out of, I held on to just hoping it would turn around and hit that. You know, if it was to draw down and it would turn around on us, then those were the losers I took. And some of those losers were like 4 wins. So you took a loss of 4 wins. So I've played with that a little bit. Sometimes I got a little bit out of control with the contract sizing. So yesterday's live stream, I don't know if you've seen that or not, or if you were here yesterday, but I did 10. I did 10 minis, or 10 micros, excuse me. So I did 10 micros at 7. So I was making like, I can just tell you here. Oh, I'm on NQ. I don't want to do that. I think it was like $80 if I remember right at 7. Yeah, it's $87.50. I had it set, so the trade originated when I started the trade. It was actually, I had it set for 10, and it did end up ultimately hitting 10 after it went through that drawdown and came back for us. But at 10, it was like 165. So, but yeah, those are super high probability. I'm really surprised I haven't got one. It's really weird. I think everybody gets a slightly different data feed or something, because sometimes people get signals that I don't, and sometimes I get a signal that they don't. So now that I'm on Take Profit Trader, I'm curious to see if I'm going to get similar signals. Like yesterday, we've talked about that a couple times on the stream, where we've seen people get different signals at different times using the same exact settings. So, but yeah, I hope that answers your question, Travis. That's how I do it on those signals, and they're super high probability. That's worth the system right there, because they're damn good trades. And I will tell you, I leave my chop filter on, and I leave my MA filter on at 200. I'm pretty hard set on that. You know, I'm a trend trader. I learned that back in the day in Forex. It's treated me well, and I'm just going to stick to that. I mean, it doesn't that even being a trend trader doesn't guarantee you anything. It's just worked out better for me overall. Okay, we're 14 on the stream, guys. 14 on the stream. Would love it if I can get to 20. That would be awesome. 20 plus would be great. Okay, we dipped down pretty good. I wanted to see it move. That makes me a little more confident that it's moved now. Watch this. I want to watch this profit wave. There is a possibility it'll pull back into that entry, pull back into that profit wave. But I really is not liking it just floating there, especially on NQ. Man, that thing is crazy. Does some wild stuff. Dang it, I probably should have took that NQ trade and pulled it off right there, because I do not want it pulling back on us too far. We were up to almost 500, and now we're back down to 350, 325. Just breathing a little bit, you know. Damn it. I probably should have took the 500. So now we're back to 250. Pulling back on us pretty hard. Oh, man. Hey. Is it Shaylin or Shallon? Winter Future Sniper Beast. I watch your channel. I appreciate you showing up, man. Thank you. Oh, man. That is not what I wanted to see, guys. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for being here. I like your channel as well. Yeah, I like your channel as well. I've had many tough days myself. I know yesterday was a rough one for you. Yeah, that's what I was afraid was going to happen, guys. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Well... yeah, see, NQ just has a mind of its own. Jeez. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I appreciate you being here. Future Sniper Beast. That's a cool name. I thought that was cool the first time I saw that. I was like, that's really cool. But yeah, I like your analysis. I was watching your analysis video yesterday on your recap for your lost day and how you do your levels and stuff. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, you do a good job. You've had some killer days too. I think you had a great March, if I remember right. You kicked butt in March. You had a really, really good March. I did pretty good the first half. The last half I didn't, but it's all me, man. I'm just like everybody else. I just have a really hard time keeping my hand off the oversized button. I get overconfident. You know, I've been trading a long time, and I made a lot of money in Forex, lost a lot of money in Forex, and tried to bring that over to here. And then using these metrics have helped me a ton. Consistency-wise, I feel like I'm more consistent now than I've probably ever been, to be honest. But it's still hard to keep your sizing under control and your discipline. You know, I think everybody struggles with that, but me, I've really, really had a hard time with that. Yeah, for sure, for sure. You took it in stride. I listened to your video yesterday. You took it in stride. You had the right mentality. You can tell that you're a seasoned trader because you have the right mentality and the outlook on it. You know what I mean? I try to be the same way. Just shake it off and take it as information. You know what I mean? Regroup a little bit. I think it's healthy to take a day or two off, regroup, digest it, do some analysis, look at your stats, you know, that sort of thing. That's what I did. So, okay, we're gonna watch this here, guys. This is spiked hard up against us pretty hard here, real quick. Let's see how much long we got. 23 seconds or so in this candle. I want to see what this next candle is gonna do. We did not break the 21, and we've got a pretty good resistance that's formed up here with that order block that we watch. Got a good wick as far as price action goes, so I'm thinking the market was looking for stop losses right there. Let's hang tight for a bit. I don't want to see green forming over here. You know how we look for triple G, triple R's on this market metric system here. But yeah, I watched your channel yesterday. I had to run some errands. I was actually listening to it while I was driving around, and yeah, you got the right mindset for sure. You can tell you've experienced at this, and that's what I'm trying to be too, man. That's exactly what I'm trying to model my channel after. Just a real guy doing real trades. And I show the wins, I show the losses, I go through it all, and I'm not going to hide anything. Okay, guys, I'm going to take this trade and I'm going to knock it off here, I think, because I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Can wait just a little bit more. We haven't broke the 21 yet, but I want to just watch this for a bit. We may still sink, but we've got a lot of fighting going on right here. You can visualize the fights right here. Yeah, we're probably gonna pull this trade. Start. Every time I get a new account, I start out in a loss. I swear. That's just how it goes, man. Yes, I do have a delay. When I was optimizing my OBS studio, we spent a whole day of optimizing and playing with it, and I found that it actually works a little better with a delay. When I was trying to stream with no delay, I just could never get the bit rate right, and I have a really good internet and really good computer, but for whatever reason, there was quite a lag going through YouTube from where I'm at. Maybe whatever servers I'm using in this part of the country, or however that ends up working out. But yes, I do have I think it's a 20-second delay that I'm running with, but actually, overall, it seems like that's a little bit better for the stream, quality-wise anyway. Okay, we got 30 seconds here. two panel for just a minute. Frustrating because we were in good profit 10 minutes ago. Had I known this was going to spike that hard against us real quick, I would have just canceled it then. But such is life. If we all had crystal balls and could see the future, and we'd all be doing great, wouldn't we? Okay, I'm going to cancel it. Yep, we're going to take a small loss right here, guys. It's going way hard against us right now. Got to start an account out with a loss. Jeez. I could tell, I could tell when I was looking at NQ earlier. I could just tell by it was weirding me out. It was weirding me out. Yeah. So what I did on the stream, we took a day, and I was in the afternoon, and I was streaming live. I wanted to see what it was doing live because you can guess all day long, and I watched a couple videos and whatever, and I was trying to figure out how to get my optimizations done. So we brought my wife and a couple tablets in and another computer, and I spent like 6 hours. I mean, we just went through this monster session of Diag, and my son, he's a Twitch streamer. He gave me a couple websites, and you can do some like an analytical testing both ways, and that's how we dialed it in. But it just worked better with a little delay. I think it was a 20-second delay, but it works really good. And 20 seconds isn't that much if you're trying to follow along the trades. You still can get in pretty good with only a 20-second delay, especially how I trade. Yeah. But yeah, I love your channel too. I watch yours too. I'll continue to watch yours too. I have appreciation for us small content creators. And I feel like you're a real guy. You're like me. You have your own little office, and you show your transparent setups, and I really appreciate that, and that's what we're trying to do here. I think all the guys on here that trade with us, same story. They vibe with that. We're all looking at that same stuff. We're trying to be that same dude. So, I don't use ICT like you do, but we do simple market metrics, and it works really well for me. I've really been happy with it. Yes, Corey, we did get snow in our area. It was crazy. Yesterday, I had run some errands when I was listening to podcasts and things in the afternoon. In 3 hours, we got like 6 inches. So in Utah, where I'm at, usually we have pretty strong winters where I'm at, but this has been a pretty light winter. We've got all the snow this whole winter. We've got all the snow in the last month. I mean, we hardly got anything November, December, January, February, which are usually pretty heavy months. And then March was by far the heaviest. We had 2 snowstorms that made up the whole year we went from like 50% snowpack to 100% in 2 snowstorms. I mean, we were having, there's a ski resort about 20 miles from here, and that ski resort got 3 feet of snow in 12 hours. My daughter's boyfriend works up there. He was sending us pictures and stuff. It was pretty gnarly. So, okay, we're on 3-minute chart here. I have not seen a signal yet, so I'd like to see a signal set up here. I do a mix of scalping and swing trading. So, yeah, Lorand, I don't know, man. It's a great question. I get that a lot. I don't know how you can do that well on the 1-minute chart every single day. I mean, it's just like every single day. I've tried it. I've got a video showing it. I've done it many, many times off stream and off video, and I've just never been able to make it work. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, for real. For real. How many accounts do you have? And how do you like people say your name? Do you have a nickname, or do you just say, is it Shaylin? Is that the right way to say it? I'm thinking so, but. That Future Sniper Beast, that looks cool. I like that name. That's so cool. I just came up with mine. I growing up, I had people call me J to the J all the time, and it just vibes. It's good. I wanted to be real. I really thought, the channels that I vibe the best with are the channels that are real. And if you look on my videos, I've got some channels that I've put like as channels that inspired me, and they're smaller channels. They're more realistic. I've actually talked to most of them at one point or another. So I like the smaller channel feel. I feel like it's much more realistic. And you know, for guys that are wanting to do this for like an actual income and an actual real job, it's good to vibe with people that are like-minded. Everybody here on this stream's like that too. I mean, we've got some good people here that are doing the same thing. I got some good traders here too. I really, it's funny how we're all seeing very similar things, and when we win, we all see very similar things, and yeah, it's fun. It's cool, man. Yeah, it's called cherry picking, Lorand, and it's when you just show win after win after win to sell a product, you know. And I mean, I know Justin's taken losses before. I've seen videos where he's shown losses, so I know he takes them. And I've seen his, I'll tell you this too, guys, I've seen the take profit payout screen. He's put it on multiple videos. He's got a lot of videos. You have to dig through them to find them. But I know in a realistic scenario, when you're actually on an account, it is going to be very difficult to make profit winter or, 1 minute chart. It's going to be very hard to do daily, day in and day out. Any slide you get. So let's look at this slide right here. I'll bet you money there's a handful of buys in that same amount of time. Just out of curiosity. I mean, the good thing is on 1 minute chart, when things start to flip around on you, you'll catch it if you're doing it like he says. But that would be a loss. That's a loss. 3 or 4 losses right here. I mean, just looking at it, it looks pretty good. Green to red, red to green. But you will lose. By the time you enter on one of these candles, by the time you get out, there is going to be loss there. That's a meat grinder. This is the donation zone. That's unless you're just scalping for like 2 ticks and you just buy, wait till it's in profit, and hurry and get out. That's the only way you could make something like that work. Get a real quick spike and get out. Which most people aren't going to do that. Most people are thinking they're going to make $150, $200 a trade or whatever, and they're not going to get in and out on a 1 minute chart like that. And like right here, if you bought right here, you're only going to be up a tick or two after all these ticks, after all these candles. It's just, I don't see how you do it. I've never been able to make the 1 minute chart work that great for me. It was when I started doing good in trading was when I zoomed out, guys. I've said it so many videos. It started making sense. It started clicking for me when I started getting some trainings. I've been through prop frame trainings. I've joined groups. I've seen seminars. I've lived trading. It's literally been an addiction of mine for like 15, 20 years now. And it started clicking for me when I zoomed out. Straight up. Straight up. So like it's pronounced Shulon. Is that the correct way to say it? Not Shay. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. You have 20 accounts plus my live personal account. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, so you're taking some time off today. Good. I think a little reflection's healthy. Like I just said a minute ago, I think it's good to do that. Yeah, after a big loss or a blown account day or whatever. I think it's healthy. Too many people, they get wiped out and then they'll just grab their card and get another account, start trading again. And I'll bet you money 80% of the time that second one does the same thing. And so I'm a little different that way too. I have no problem. When I passed a eval using simple market metrics, the very first eval I passed using just this system, I blew that account because I had a trade evade. I had been playing on trade evade. I opened up 2 screens at a time, and I had a pending order, and I left my computer, and a pending order kicked in, and of course it went the other way. It would never be in your favor. It'd always be against you, and it blew that account, and I was so devastated, man. I could not believe that happened. So I took a week off. I didn't just go buy another account. I mean, I had to really digest that, you know what I mean? But that was healthy for me. I read stats. I'm pretty analytical by nature, so I wanted to look at everything, and I wanted to really dial in on what happened. And then the second eval, I passed it with flying colors, but I really feel like that week off was a good prep time, a good self-reflection. I tell my people that on the stream every day. We all are. I hope everybody can hear that and have that ability. But it's super hard. I mean, it's real easy to just jump on TPT, buy another account, and be trading 15 minutes later. you know? One and done. That's cool. Yeah, I can vibe with that. That's cool. Heck yeah. There's so many times I'm like, man, I should have just done my one and done because I just kept going and I just made things work for myself. So that makes a lot of sense. Loran says, I lost so many account. I just pay out one or two small money. Yeah, nice. So I've got funded a couple times. I've made probably 1,500 or so in the last year and a half. This has just been a side project of mine until I can get fully funded. But I've bought more evals than that, and I'm even like today I had to buy another $200 100K account. So we'll get there though. I'm dedicated, and we've showed some really good progress. It's crazy. My channel has grown phenomenally for the small Google ads I've done, and just running. I just post real videos. I just show my experience and post real videos, and it's really making, statistic wise, my channel has grown incredibly fast. Like 1,000% on the hours and the views, and and I've done like a $10 video or a Google campaign. I've done a couple of those on a couple different videos, and it's crazy how much growth it's got. So it's inspiring, it's motivating, and it's inspiring. It's a popular niche out there right now for sure. A lot of people are looking at making extra money and wanting to figure out the day trading thing, Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw the other day, Pat Weiland, they were saying he went through like 1,000 accounts in a year. He went through like 1,000 accounts in a year. Some of these bigger streamers, I mean, they're buying accounts daily. They're buying like 20 accounts daily or something, blow a whole bunch, and then make a big payout on a bunch, and then blow those again and buy a bunch more, and then make a payout or two, and then blow those again. And they must just be Wild West in it, Oh yeah, you work 12-hour shifts, Larand. I did that before. That is super hard, man. It doesn't leave a lot left in the brain tank, right? It's very hard. I mean, there's physical fatigue and there's mental fatigue, and you're kind of fighting both at that point. So that would be super hard. Do you have, so when I worked that schedule, I'd work 12 hours 2 days, and then I'd have 2 days off. And so I'd really only try to trade on those days off because I needed the rest, And I can't preach enough about how, like, your mental health and physical health go hand in hand. But you got to have both of those to be able to clearly think on these important decisions with trading that we're doing. Yeah, I'm new to YouTube, man. I've only been doing YouTube since I've had this channel for a long time, but I've mostly just used it for like playlist on music and things. So I started posting videos in like December last year. I got this idea in my head that I want to do. I want to do it. I want to go for it in 2025. I'm tired of watching other channels, and I've got a bunch that I watch or follow frequently, and I've seen a lot of garbage. I mean, they're clown shows. There's a lot of stuff that's false. There's a lot of stuff that's not good, and I just wanted to be more like you, or more like some of these lower channels that are just more realistic, right? Just show everything and just show what day trading is actually going to be like if you get into it. Wow, 53 to 72, huh? Wow. I think at the level where you're actually making money at it, that's just going to be part of the game. You're going to lose some, and you just have to get more. And it's just one of those things where if you're winning more than you're losing, it's all going to come out in the wash. And like, I don't know if you follow Nutty Bar. I've been following him. He's actually one of the first channels I started following, and he's gone through hundreds of accounts too. And his his expenses, he puts his expenses in his thumbnails, and if it's accurate, it's like a third what his overall total is. So that's just part of the deal. If you want to run this as a profitable business, there is going to be expenses just like any other business. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. 5 day in a row and then 4 day night. Oh wow, Loren, what do you do? I'm curious. Are you work in manufacturing, or what do you do? What? What do you do out there? You're in, if I remember right, you're Hungarian, but you live in Romania. Is that correct? Am I right on that? Well, yeah. What do you do? I'm just curious. I've worked manufacturing before, so I'm just curious what you do. I'm kind of a DIY guy, so I've got a little bit of experience in everything. I can weld. I worked for several different manufacturers over the years. I worked in aerospace for a couple years. I was a painting guy for an aerospace company here locally. And then I worked for PPG for a couple years as a paint rep. I had a paint store that we managed. And then I actually started painting after that. So had my own painting business, and I still do that on the side. In fact, that's what I was working on when I first started the stream today. Is I got another paint job coming up here pretty quick. I did one last week that was only supposed to take a day, and it took 3 days because we had some problems, and nothing to do with me, all completely with how the part we were painting was manufactured. So yeah, I'm kind of a DIY guy. I do a little bit of everything. As we've owned our house for 10 years, and at some point I've had to be a plumber, an electrician, a gardener, a framer, sheetrocker, especially with kids. Repairing sheetrock's an important necessity if you have kids. That's all I need to say about that. I can clean carpets like nobody's business too. Having a dog will create that necessity. Yeah, I have not seen a signal today. That's kind of wild. I was just looking at that. This was before I jumped on stream. This was about an hour before. I have my signals set to come on about right there. I think they come on at 12. Yeah, they come on right here. So I don't start getting signals till 12, and then they go till about 2 hours before the market closes. I found that things are just way too wild at that time of the day to even get involved in signals. So I don't do much with the signals then. Zoom out to 5 minutes, see what we got going on here. Nice. Yeah, nice. Nice. We have, we're hers, mine, and ours family, so I've said this on the stream a couple times before too, but I got a big family. We've got 7 altogether, hers, mine, and ours. And we had 2 dogs. One of them passed away this last year. We had that dog for 11 years. So we're just down to 1 dog now. She's a 10-year-old boxer, and every now and again I have to leave the stream real quick because when she starts whining, it's we got to get outside quick. She's having a hard time with her bladder these days. So let's see. We got 11 on the stream. Do you ever stream? Do you ever stream? Yeah, you ever stream, Shulan? I'm saying that right now, right? Correct? That's how it says? Shulan? That's the correct way to say it? That's what it looked like how you were pronouncing it. Yeah. Kind of watching these levels, guys, as we're talking about things here. I'm watching the market metrics change, and we're watching our levels here. So yeah, I really thought we'd sink a little bit harder than that earlier today, just based on my analysis. I start my day with a top-down analysis, and I've got on I go to 4-hour chart, and I kind of just find the ultimate high, ultimate lows for the last couple weeks. And since we broke, I used to have one here at this level where you can see this is a support line, that green dot that we just saw. And my metrics just kicked out on me. So I went back in time a little bit so I could find the next lower level, and it was actually about 6 or 8 months ago. We had some pretty good spikes down here, and so the market metrics have plotted this lower as a next lower support. And so I just kind of overlaid that with my next lower support. There's a pretty good order block right here. So order blocks and supports are usually pretty close to each other, but they doesn't mean one is stronger than the other. It's just different information that's similar, or it's plotting differently on the chart. So Yeah. So we haven't really broke the. Watching this 21 level is kind of what I'm watching as I'm talking here. Um, I like the 200 and the 21 together in conjunction, so I don't like trading in between them. I've never really had good luck with that. But the way I do my trend trading, I use the market metrics, I use RSI, and then I'll use those two EMAs in conjunction, and we have some good results that way. I mean, we're 100% with the trend that way, and we get some good results. That sell we had earlier that we tied on, I was a little bit late to the party, if anything, because I wanted to break this support we had here. Once we broke that, then we sold, and we did get a nice dip down, but it spiked up against us pretty quick. Within 10 minutes, we were back into a little bit of a negative. Actually, we went from being positive to negative pretty quick there. But that's the market; it does that. So we're going to watch and see if we can get looking at things now. I like this area for a sale. You know what I mean? I'd like to see what happens at this area. See if we keep buying throughout the day. I'll be real surprised if we break any of these levels. We've got so much resistance right here. These two big order blocks, these resistance lines. Yeah, it's going to be a real surprise, a real fight to get past there. It's not impossible, but that's kind of what I'm going to watch here for a bit. And like you guys are saying, everybody's cognizant of what's happening in the economy right now. And tomorrow's NFP big news report. So today could be. I've seen days in front of NFPs that are pretty wild. I've seen days in front of NFPs where it just floats, just ranges. So it's anybody's guess. So, but where I just look for, I just want to see what kind of opportunities come up, and we'll try and take advantage of them the best we can. Ride the wave, and I'm a trend trader too. I really watch. I lean on trend. Simple market metrics is cool because it has a trend filter built into it, and so I leave that on. I leave the chop filter on, and I leave the MA filter on, which will filter all your signals out to 200 EMA. So, and I leave this on. Reduce signals during choppy markets will produce less signals overall. I would rather take less signals that are higher probability, and in my results in my studies, that's been the case. So you get less overall signals, but they're higher probability. And those signals that we're just scalping for 7 ticks or so, but man, we can get it out pretty quick on those. They actually work really well. And it'll just I have a signal alert set up, and I get an alert. I'm in the trade within 10 seconds, and I'm out anywhere between 3 to 9 minutes generally. And like yesterday's live stream, it was perfect. I had one signal all day. It was a pretty slight, it's pretty easy day. I only trade till a couple hours before market ends. I don't trade at the end of the market. I don't trade power or anything. It gets too wild. I've got to go get my daughter a bottle, guys. So I'm going to take a real quick break here. So let's watch these levels for a bit and see what's going to happen here. I really want to see what happens at this next level up. See if we're going to continue down, or if we're going to try and break this lower level at some point today, or if we're just going to range in this area. But I'll be right back, guys. Hey, thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate you. Okay, we're back on, guys. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks for being here today. So, you gotta love when the dog has to go out again. Okay. Should have just took my profit. So this is where people, I'll say this too with the market metrics. This is where people struggle. When you get into a triple R situation where you're all red and you're selling, and you jump into a point and then you have a pullback, but everything stays red. So another reason I like the 21 here, because you've got something else to look at besides just red candles and red background. Because if you just held that thinking, well, it's still red, it's going to go down more, you want to look and see if this level gets broken. We exited right about where the level gets broken. I'm glad I did. That would have been quite a big loss. We'd have been $500, $600, $700 down now, and I'm only $250. So I should have took it when it was at 300-400. I kind of could feel that it wasn't really going down, especially on NQ. I could just see that thing wasn't. Something about it weirded me out. I just could tell something was weird. If you look back on the stream, about 15 minutes before it started going back on us, I could see that it wasn't. Something was just weird with it. But yeah, look, I mean, you got a lot of room here. So if you were to jump in down here, about where we did, we only went down that far, and then it went quite a ways behind us. I mean, you'd have had a pretty good loss before it changed to green, and I think people struggle with that. They're looking at just the colors, and they're trading just off the colors, and that's a loss right there. This is a loss right here. This one might have been a win, depending on where you got in and out. But all this right here, these sells and buys, all this right here would have been loss, even on the higher time frame. I don't trade pre-market because there's not much reason to. There's no distance here. I'd rather just get in when there's some volume and try to capitalize on it. So, okay, so we're down. We start out the count with a couple loss, one small win and a big loss on the other side of things. That's one downside about having. I like having Trade Evade open so I can just click a button and kill both trades at once instead of having to jump back and forth between two charts. But yeah, that spiked hard against us pretty quick, guys. That was really fast. Within 5-10 minutes, we were. Let's see. 40 ticks. So you got to be pretty quick on the draw. And once we sunk below our levels, I thought, well, it looks like it's going to sink for today. And it still might. It's just breathing a little bit. I mean, we might get another sell here. Now the area to watch is our previous low. We're going to sell that previous low, or we're going to break even lower. You know what I mean? Let's kind of see what we're going to end up with today. Have not got a signal. Got one signal on 3 minute, but I wasn't at my charts then. So what's gold doing today? I haven't even looked at gold today. Whoa. Whoa. Is that today? What? Let's look at that. Is that today? Looked really weird on the other chart. Pretty good rise. That'd have been a nice little buy there if you're swinging. This is tough though. Anytime you see, I really, I've learned the metrics. When you see different color candles with a different background, there's just a lot of indecision, right? So just maybe stay out of that trade. There's not really, I don't like either one of those, to be honest. I mean, our 3 minute, 5 minute, and 1 hour are mostly bearish, but there is some bullish in the background on the 1 hour. You want to see all this be pretty lined up. That's preferable. Okay, so NQ and MES are syncing now again, so I've got my alerts set. We're going to see if RSI sinks to -12 and everything's lining up good here for we go triple R again, everything lines up like we like to see, we'll take another crack at a sell. See if we can make up that first loss for the day. Today may be tough, you know. Big news coming out tomorrow. It could be. Who knows? It could be tough, though. It could be tough. Okay, guys, we've got 6 on the stream right now. Who's trading? Who's got some trades going? What are you guys working on out there? I like to see what you guys got going on. I want to see my daily lows. I'm going to add those to here. That's one of the reasons I like this chart is I like looking at the daily low and daily high. Price levels, settings. Okay, so we're going to do the high as this light green, and we're going to do the low as this light red. I like that. That's one of the reasons I like that chart is I can just quick glance and see. Yeah, I like that. Except I need to change this one to this one. No? Maybe it's that one. Why doesn't it look the same? I don't understand that. Why does it look the same? It is the same, but it doesn't look the same. Interesting. All right, I just like to see where my levels are. So there's our opening. That's our opening high, and that's the bottom of the day. So now, when we can quick glance at this, we'll know. So if we're gonna start reversing, this is a good place to shoot for. And if we break lower, which we kind of planned on or looked at this morning first thing, if we go higher, then here's a good place to shoot for too. The market opens a really good place to look for that other side of things. So I try to look at both sides of things. I don't just try to hyper focus on what I want to happen or what I think is going to happen. And the opening is about where this order block is. So opening is right about here. So that's where the 200 is, a really strong resistance right there. There's a couple of them right there. So I don't know. If we get that high, I don't anticipate it'll hang out long. But who knows? It could go. I mean, it could do some crazy stuff today. Yesterday afternoon, holy cow, I was glad I wasn't trading. When I saw those candles and I saw how much of a wick those bad boys had in the afternoon, I was really glad I wasn't anywhere near my chart then. That was a mess. It looked like an absolute mess. The floor, do. Yeah, NFP tomorrow, so who knows what's going to happen. Nice, Cyclonic. Good job. 3 trades, total profit of 483. Not in a current trade. All right. I probably should have took profit, but I was thinking we were still going to sink a bit more than that. We still might. I don't know. There's a pretty good order block there, especially now. It's actually got really big on the 1 hour chart. That's a giant order block. That's crazy. That thing's massive. Yeah. Well, kind of slow right now. Not a lot happening. That is a common thing in trading. So just we need to be patient, wait for primo setup if we can. We all get so eager to be in a trade. We all get so excited to push that buy button, start making money. But if you slow your roll a little bit, have some good data in front of you, things are going to turn out way better for you. The flow. Do. RSI is rising. I don't like buying between a 21 and a 200. It's not a really good area for me. Never really seen that work out very well. I like this area here. So we're going to watch this area here. We'll see what happens when we get to here. I'm thinking we'll get up here and then we'll see what's going to take place. If it's going to break through and keep going up. 1 hour chart, we've got a lot of room. I mean, if you look at it this way too, look on the 1 hour chart and just the distance between yesterday and today. There's quite a range there. Quite a variation. The last 8, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 hours have really not done much. And then the previous 4 before that were just wild. Wild West. So RSI is pretty low still, though, for a 1 hour chart. We're at 46. So we're pretty deep in RSI. You're down 250 for the week, Cyclonic? Really? Yeah? Well, you still having a counter trade. I blew mine. Getting way too wild. Okay, that's the hour candle. And a 5-minute candle, we signaled up on the RSI, so it could be too, guys, where the news is coming out today. I would not be surprised if we ping pong. A lot of times that happens before a great big news event. That's the thing with trading, is no one ever really knows. We all can speculate till the end of the world, but no one really knows. It's 250 down for the week, huh? Yeah. Are you going to trade tomorrow? Are you going to wait till after the news to trade, or what's your plan? Looks like Justin just posted a video. 522 win, 83% win today on the 1 minute chart on NQ. So that big spike down, he did get some of that, and it looks like he got a win on the upside. But when I looked at it, I thought that'd be a loss. Holy cow. This is probably just going to be a crazy day. Yeah, how do you do pre-market? Cyclonic, I don't really do much in pre-market. I just doesn't ever seem like there's enough volume to make anything happen, but I guess I'm so used to swinging for some big distances that I just get frustrated when it just floats, Man, look at this yesterday. That's so wild, guys. So the last trade we did was clear back here. I was out of the market by here for sure. I was done trading it off my computer by here. I have my signals to end about this level here. So I don't get signals after about right here, time frame wise. Yeah, I don't get signals about after here. And then boom, big spike up, big spike down. That's pretty crazy for how late in the day that was to get that much. I don't even think it was power hour yet. I think power hour was more like right here. Wow, crazy. Crazy. Not opposed to, I don't want to do it, but a buy right here looks really good for NQ. Let's just see if I were to buy. Let's just see where that's at in 15 minutes. This is a good way to find out if you're right or not without actually taking a loss. Yeah. Are you in Cali? Or are you Portland area? Where are you at? Oregon, Washington, somewhere up there? I'm in southern Utah. So it starts moving about I would say 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock my time is when I notice it starts moving a little bit. Five-minute candle, 13 on the ATR. I wonder if the ATR, I think it's at 14 right now. Average true range length 3. Seattle, huh? Okay, cool. Used to live in Cali. All right, cool. Cool. So you're west of me. You're west and north of me. You're probably 800 miles from where I'm at right now. 6, 7, 800 miles, something like that. Okay, guys, just slow moving. Not a lot happening. So far, we're just in a small loss. Nothing too crazy. Glad I killed it when I did. It'd be pretty good size loss now. I waited. This turned green, and we broke that 21 on both the MQ and MAS and MNQ and MES, and we said we're getting out. Glad we did though, because we're quite a bit higher than that right now. The next level I want to see what happens here. Looking back today, we've rejected this area twice. So it is a pre-news day. We may just float in this area. There might not be much trading we can do today, unfortunately. I'm excited too because I got this brand new 100K take profit trader account. I wanted to do some good things with it today. Should have took my profit when I was like 500 up. Hey, good morning, Erica. We're just watching slow markets. Not much happening right now. I was up a little bit on this spike down, and then it spiked against us, and I got out just with a small loss here on my brand new account here. Really want to take care of this account. Want to do good things with this take profit trader account. I just looking back at how that Tradeify scenario went with me and the stress it put me in, and I like the idea of just daily wins. I just want to focus on daily wins and daily withdrawals. That sounds good to me. And I need a bigger account. I will never do 50K accounts again. I don't think, as much as I've traded them, I think a bigger account is worth the money. More room. Definitely more room. And Take Profit Trader, they have a pamphlet that you can read and download, and they actually show statistics from their website, and everybody who buys the bigger accounts, it's far more likely to pass. And so, but they sell more small accounts. So there's a lot of budget-minded people out there that are just buying the 50K accounts and blowing them repeatedly, whereas if they just spend a little bit more money and get a bigger account, they'd have likely a better outcome. So, and I like even numbers, I like to, if I'm going to stack accounts, I just want to stack even number accounts. So, ideally, I don't know if I want to get like 20 accounts, but I think 4 or 5 is a doable number. And set up some brackets, have a couple be on one bracket, have a couple on another bracket, and have one just be its own. That way, if you have a bad day on one bracket, you're not done. There's things you can do. I would never, I see so many YouTubers that get 20 accounts and tie them all together, and they have a bad day and wipe them all out. And it's if you can't manage one account profitably, what makes you think you can manage 20 accounts profitably? Get the account management down, and then scale up from there. And I feel like that the way you're managing your account good is when you've got a payout, at least one payout. If you can make it to one payout, you've got what it takes. You've got a good basis. Doesn't mean you can't blow that account after. Sure you can, but you got to be pretty dedicated to get a payout. You got to be pretty good on your system and your dedication to get a payout. So. But yeah, you scale that up at that point, and you're getting payouts repeatedly, and you have multiple accounts. Magic happens. It's amazing. Hello, Pedro. Yeah, right. First try to get 20 PA accounts, then you can say something. Exactly. I have enough time managed one account, so I can just imagine the pressure 20 PA accounts would put on me. And it does it to everybody. I mean, just look at YouTube. Look at all the big traders out there. Watch their channels, and you'll see the guys with lots of accounts, and their expenses are through the roof because they're buying PAs all the time. They're buying evals all the time. So if you're going to have that many, just definitely have them set on brackets. 4 or 5 are hooked together, and then 4 or 5 are hooked on a different set, or some kind of variation of that. I know Nutty's done a lot better since he went to doing that. He used to really kick himself when he had 20 accounts on a bad trading day, and then he was buying 20 evals the next day. Ever since he started just doing 3 or 4 at a time, he's done a lot better. Lots better. Okay, so this buy looks like it's this buy would have worked out pretty good so far. I think my next area to watch. We're almost there. We're creeping up. I want to see what happens to this order block up in this area, and see if we're going to just range today or what's going to happen. Probably will. I mean, with big news coming tomorrow, we might just have a range day. Earlier this morning, it looked like it was going to sink really hard, and it did for a short time. It went down quite hard for a short time, but there's a lot of fighting going on. Got a new subscriber today. Great. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back, guys. Back at it here, guys. Mr. Trader Mick, do you have any experience with limit price restriction with prop firms? My understanding is you cannot trade when it approaches the percent limit. Let me look at something real quick. I want to say... I think it might depend on what prop firm. Looking at the rules for Take Profit Trader, it talks about your profit target, your position size, your end of day drawdown, approve products during approved hours, and be consistent. Your maximum position size is a static number of contracts. Okay. End of day drawdown, we all know about that. That's your end of day. Can't go lower than that. Approved products, approved times. It's probably just dependent on, Mr. Trader Mick, it depends on the prop firm. I know that the rules get pretty crazy on some of these guys. And I think one of the reasons I chose Take Profit Trader again, and I have chose them more than any other firm, is because it's straightforward. You've got the 5 rules and that's it. I don't see anything in any of these rules that say anything about a limit percent or anything like that. Now, this is just for my eval, so it may change with the funded. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward on those guys. Now, some of these other ones, oh, sure. Absolutely. Pro account rules. You can't reach your minimum or your maximum intraday trailing. To trade during limit up or limit down periods. All pro accounts may not have one position open 1 minute before, during, or after news. FOMC, which they email you about that. The high news events, they don't want you to trade on. They email you about that. And it's on their calendar too. I look at my calendar every day, so I know we're good to trade today. Yeah, I don't see anything in there about for. Excuse me. Take profit trader anyway. I'll bet it just depends on the firm though, because I'm sure there is somewhere. Cyclonic. Yeah, good consistent loser. Yeah, I'm a consistent eval blower, so I guess that means I'm a consistent loser too. I'll tell you what, when I blow an eval, I blow it. It's an atomic bomb. I'm really good at like being really consistent and dedicated with my wins, and then when it comes to losing, I just do atomic bombs. And I usually do it off stream because I don't have anybody watching. So you guys are my safety net in a way. You guys help keep me accountable. And when it's in the past, when it's got Wild West on me, it's mental stuff outside of here too. But when I know people are watching on the screen, I tend to be a little bit more careful. Just that accountability thing. Okay, well, this random buy that I just picked out of nowhere, there's no reason for this. It was like right here, other than it was in the profit wave. I think I saw this little dot here thinking, oh, that buy might work out good, and sure enough, it did. Okay, we're to the level I'm thinking here. We're almost there. We just slowly creeped up the last half hour or so. I'm curious what's going to happen. I'm curious what's happened the rest of the day. If we're going to find here and peak out and start working day back down. There's a good order block on 1 hour. We poked into it pretty hard on the 4 hour too. So, are we done going down? Or are we gonna fill this gap? Is news gonna close this? Is news gonna make one of these spikes down? Right. Glad we got out when we did, guys. We were kind of selling at the bottom. I think that's the fighting I could see in that trade. I could see it was fighting. So I just didn't really like that trade. I didn't get quite out fast enough. I mean, it was only 5-6 minutes, and it was way off. I mean, we'd lost all of our gains and lost a little bit within 3 to 5 minutes. So, got to be pretty quick. And I'm talking with people on the stream and looking at a bunch of things, and it's pretty easy to let it slip a little bit like that. Watching it go from 500 to 400 to 250 to 50 to negative 200, like in minutes. So yeah, looking at just our basic chart here. This is the last swing high is right in this area. That's our opening, yesterday's open. We're about 50% from the bottom to the open. We're about 50% right now. So if you had a VWAP, that VWAP would probably be right about where we are. I don't use VWAP, but I would imagine we're going to be just looking at those lines and knowing how a VWAP works mathematically, that would be somewhere in here. You guys with VWAP can confirm that. If you're using VWAP and you have it set just how it comes, I mean, there's always, you can configure it all kinds of different ways, but I'll bet we're pretty close. We're at 200, and I know VWAP and 200 are very similar. So we've broke the 200 on the 3-minute chart. Now, typically, I'm a range guy, so I like to, if I was trading 3-minute chart this morning and I got an RSI alert on that, I'd be selling right here, and then I'd wait till we were above trend or below trend to resell or rebuy. So if it flips around on us and we get a sell alert somewhere in this area and go back down to that lower, I'd shoot for that low. Alternatively, if we break this 200 and we're going to start getting some buy action going in, there's quite a bit of resistance right here, but if we do somehow manage to break those, we can have some good upside. This whole gap right here could be closed, especially with what happened yesterday afternoon. So I'm thinking about all this as I'm looking at these. I'm trying to plan both ways. What could happen either way. I'm going to stream about another half hour or so. I think this 3-hour stream is plenty long. I think we all get a little bit tired after that. And if we haven't had some good trades by then, it's probably not going to happen for that day. We just need to accept it. So I've got this 100K account. I plan on getting a payout from it. So tomorrow is going to be an interesting day. I'll probably stream, but I don't know how much trades we're going to take. We're gonna watch those news events, and then we'll see what the market does after that. But I don't want to jeopardize this account, and a lot of stuff going on in our economy. Any minute, Trump could tweet something, and they just throw the price one way or the other. I think that's been happening a lot lately, and the problem with that is there's no news calendar to check that. Right? There's nothing we can do. He jumps on Twitter or X whenever he wants and announces something crazy, and everything reacts to it, and we as traders are at that mercy. It's kind of wild. I know that happened the other day. I was watching another streamer, and I think it was Cove Trader actually, and he was reading it. He has X on one of his screens, and I never thought about that. I didn't even think, I always just looked at Forex Factor. I didn't even think about X, and Trump's really big on X. He was huge on Twitter before it changed to X, and Joe Biden didn't really do much on Twitter like that. I don't think it had that much impact if he did say anything on Twitter like it does Trump, because Trump gets on there and really makes some noise. And they're two different. They're big different strategies. They run the country very, very differently. That's the reality of it. But yeah, Trump gets on there and says we're gonna tariff Canada 25%. We're gonna tariff China and all these other countries 25% or 30%, and then they announce they're going to retaliate with that kind of a tariff, and we are in a trade war, straight up. So then when you go to buy eggs, and it used to be $2.50 for 12, and now it's $8 for 12, that's kind of what might happen to other goods and services. On the flip side, if it's hurting their economies, they're going to be... He's hoping that it's hurting their economy enough or hurting their trades enough that they will come to the bargaining table and make a better deal. And I think that as a businessman, that worked really well for him, but I don't know if that's going to pan out for the country. I don't know if I don't know if it'll work the same with our economy, It's not a high stakes negotiating table over apartment complexes. It's a lot more complex than that. It's trillions of dollars of assets and GDP and companies and all of our money. I mean, it's a big difference. So I really try to be kind of in the middle. I try to see the whole picture for the economy and politics in general. So many people are one side or the other, and I try to see both sides of it, I think that there's value in both sides of it, and try to see the picture, 100% of the picture, not just a zoomed in view. It's kind of like trading. You can have a buy bias or a sell bias. And I try to be not. I try to let the chart tell me what to be biased and not my own bias. So gold had a good spike this morning, and it's just been floating the last hour or so. Not really much going on there. 1 hour chart. Pretty good dip down. 4 hour chart. Still have this line from last week when I did these lines. Look at that. Look at that 4 hour candle. What a monster. Wow, that's a crazy candle there. That's some really good sell action this morning. Earlier this morning. That would have been like last night's session. They're seeing this dip here and then that buy there. So is it going to dip down and touch this level again? I'm not going to trade gold, though. Gold makes me mad. It makes me mad because when I do finally get into it, I get whipped around. And then when I'm reviewing it later, I'm like, dang it, I missed some good trades. It didn't let me in on a good one. I had to deal with all the meat grinder action, and 10 minutes after I closed my trade, it decided to go 300 points the other way that I would have capitalized on and done really well on. Yeah, guys, well, some days are like this. That's just trading for you. You know, you're going to have days that are awesome and just exciting, and you're going to have days that just, this hasn't really been that exciting today. Had a little bit of action earlier, but that's it. I'm kind of thinking that as far into the session as we are, and as low as the ATR and things are looking, and money flow and everything, we're not really going to make any fantastical things until news comes out. Everybody's going to be watching that news pretty close tomorrow, so see what happens. See what happens. Well, even though there's only a couple of people on the stream, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here. I think we're just going to end it. I think I'm just going to end it early today. I don't really see any good opportunities, and I want to kind of stay alert and stay focused on this account. So yeah, let's end the stream today. I want to thank big thank you for me to you. And if you haven't got the metrics yet, go ahead and buy the metrics. You'll be happy you did. For a $99 one-time fee, it's a really, really good toolkit. It's not perfect, but with a few modifications, you can make a really good system from it. My channel's pretty much full of content about simple market metrics and the journey that I've been on. It's been overwhelmingly positive. My channel stats are absolutely phenomenal from the reviews and the engagement that I've got. So there's a lot of interest in it. Is it perfect? No. Can you still have losses? Absolutely. You still got to control your lot size. This is one thing that's really a struggle for a lot of traders, and me included. I get overconfident in my system. I get feeling like I can see the market and read it really well and bump this baby up, and next thing you know, you're on the bad side of 2-3 trades that are 10 times leveraged what they should be, and boom, you're done. Happens to all of us. If you pretend, and a lot of channels will pretend like it doesn't happen to them, and they just keep revolving accounts going and hope you buy their systems or whatever. And it's the only thing I'm selling is a $99 toolkit. Everything else I've done for free. It's just information and trader share knowledge. So Gary, thank you for being here. Cyclonic, Mr. Trader Mick, Erica, Corey, if you're here, Shulan, that was new to the stream. He's got a channel of his own. That was really good to see him. Rand, all you regulars, I really appreciate you guys. Brett, if you're still here, Travis, Sean, Corey, you guys are all great. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there, guys. Let's just ride this next couple days, and we'll get back to some regular trading next week, hopefully. So with that being said,